Now children, so say before we'll reach the fourth component, that is the mineral cycle, then we have to study ecological succession. That is an important term, and it is the, you know what is succession? That is the new generation take the place of previous generation. So it is a sequential gradual and predictable change in the species composition of an area. That is the ecological succession, means it is predictable what will happen next. And ecological succession is an important characteristic feature of any community, that the new generation will take the place of previous generation. It is occur in all communities, means that there is a change in structure and composition of the ecosystem. Whatever species are present 10 years back will not be present today. Today the species will change because of the change brought, and these are the changes that are brought by the organism only. That is, one will give rise, one will arises, and then they make the condition favorable for the next generation and make unfavorable for their own self. So that community will get eliminated and the next community will take the place of that community. So species, now there are some terminology, that is, first is the pioneer species. First term is pioneer species, means the species that start the succession. That is, that start the succession, that is called pioneer species. The next term is climax species or climax community, you can say, and species that end the ecological succession, or species that appear at the end and remains, called climax community. And the species which are occur in between the pioneer community and the climax community, that those species or those community are known as Sera community. Means those who started the process is called pioneer community. Those ended it is called climax community. And between the climax and pioneer, whatever, how many species occur and get extinct, those are called Sera community. So area, on the basis of the thing where, on the basis of the area where it is occur, the succession is of two types. First is called primary succession. Primary succession, suppose the area there is no life, no soil, no organic matter is present, and if there the life start introducing or life start developing, so that type of succession is called primary succession. And the second type of succession is secondary succession. Secondary succession means area, there's an area, there was a life exist, but due to some natural calamity or due to some human activity, the life disappear or they get extinct from that area. If their life occur again, so that type of succession is called secondary succession. The example of primary succession is suppose the area where your cool lava is present. or a newly formed land. That is the example of primary succession. And secondary succession means forest. That suppose the tree was cut off so that all the community get extended, and again when the formation of tree or development of tree or the growing of tree started, then that type of area is known as secondary succession. Suppose if we talk about the primary succession, so primary succession will occur in the place where the volcano eruption take place. Suppose the volcano eruption has taken place, so that area is unfit for the living of the organism. Now somehow the lava that is developed get cool out. So which type of organism will develop here? Only the lichen. Ovilichen, or you can say crustose lichen, is able to develop here, because they does not need any material to attach. So crustose lichen appear, and then they get died out, and they will prepare food. So the organic material will get mixed with this lava, as there was no soil. Their waste material will have acidic conditions, so they will break down the lava and into a soil. Then in soil finally the foliose lichen will develop, and after foliose lichen, then these make a condition more favorable. Then the fructose lichen will develop. Then fructose lichen will make the condition more suitable. Then the bryophyte develop, then the pteridophyte, and ultimately the gymnosperm and angiosperm will develop. And these angiosperm or gymnosperm will be the climax community. And all the community that will occur in between are known as sera community. So I am making this flow chart. Go through this flow chart. Suppose there is cold lava. Okay, it does not have any organic component and all things. Some component are present, but that is not the place fit for the living organism. Now what happened to this? Now in this area, the first organism that will arise, that will be the lichen, and that will be the crustose lichens. Okay, now crustose lichen will reproduce here, take the nutrition from here, develop itself, and ultimately their life cycle will complete, and they died out also. So they get dead lichens. Okay, so dead lichen will give what? Organic matter. Now what happened? The waste of this lichen will break the lava, and this organic material will get mixed with it. Now as when it developed, there was no soil. Now a small amount of soil will develop. Okay, now the small amount of soil develop. Now on this soil, the material is also get mixed. Now it will help in the development of what type of lichen? It help in the development of foliose lichen. Okay, then after foliose lichen, the fruticose lichen will develop. Okay, then it will develop. Now this fruticose lichen, due to this the soil deposition also start. Now here the small amount of soil will form. Now the bryophyte will require small amount of soil. Other thing is moisture, they are required. So now the next community that will replaces this lichen, because now when soil develop and other thing develop, it make the condition unfavorable for lichen. So lichen will remove from this area, And the now next thing that is developed is the Bryophyta. Okay. Now Bryophyta develop and they produce the mineral. Then they also produce for their dead body. Now the soil will increase in number. So after bryophyte, what will be formed? After the bryophytes, the pteridophyte will come. Okay, now they will do the same cycle, the process will take on, and they make the condition more favorable for the next generation, that is for the gymnosperm and angiosperm. Okay, this will be the cycle. Now, in this cycle, this is the what? This is the pioneer species because it started the formation or started the life. Now this will be the climax species. Now other thing, that is these foliose lichen, fruticose lichen, bryophyta and pteridophyta. These all are Sera species. Okay, now I think it is clear what is climax species, what is pioneer species and what is Sera species. Now there are two type of succession we have to study, and that is hydrart succession, xerat succession, and one is the bland succession also. So we'll go through it. And one thing more that I want to tell you, that any succession that take place, ultimately it has to reach to mesic condition. There are the succession. Now succession में first है hydrart succession. Hydrart, or it is also called hydrocera. ठीक है. Second is known as rock, or it is also known as xeric, or it is also known as xerocera. ठीक है. Third one is land, or it is also known as lithocera. So these three type of succession are present, and whether it is xeric or whether it is hydric. Okay, whether it is xeric and whether it is hydric. Xeric means no water. Hydric means plenty of water. And though both the succession will have to move toward the mesic condition, that is moderate amount of water. So this will be the end of the succession. Whether it is xeric condition, it also reaches to this. Whether it is hydric condition, it also reaches to this. Now there are some steps that is followed in all type of succession. And the step that is followed in all type of succession are steps. The first is nudation. First step is nudation. Here what is formation of area where succession take place. It is the formation of area where succession take place. Okay. The second one is known as invasion. Invasion means entry of pioneer species. Seed भी हो सकता है, spore, anything can be the pioneer species that enter there because they enter in a form of seed or spore. Now third one is aggregation. That is the third step. Aggregation. Aggregation is the adaptation and reproduction of that species. Means the species has to adapt itself, then they will reproduce. The fourth step is competition. When the population increases, then the competition increases for food, space, etc. So that will be the competition. Now, when these things happen, the death of organism take place, the formation of new component take place, then what happen next? That is changes. And changes, what is changes? Changes where? In ecosystem. In ecosystem. And that changes may become unsuitable, for existing species. For existing species. ठीक है? But more suitable for next. But suitable for next. So what? Now this will happen. Now what happened? These will go round and round. This, that is from fifth, then second, then they'll do, then the changes occur. Then they'll again, the repeated thing occur and occur. That after one species, the second come, then they'll do the same thing, invasion, then adaptation, then the competition start, and then they cause the change. And ultimately, the sixth step that occur, and that is climax. That is climax community. Now, climax community come, they tolerate all the change and exist there for some time. Tolerate change, ultimately they exist there. So these are the steps that is necessary for the succession that occur in all succession, whether it is hydrarch, whether it is xerarch. Now, one by one, we are going to study the two type of succession.